Hello, welcome to the riverfront of Fort Myers, Florida. Sun's dropping down, we're reaching the magical hour where all great photography happens if you have the skills and the equipment. That starts at about 6 o'clock till sunset, of course. Great sunset shots always occur over there. Typically see photographers rush down to the docks to take some wedding shots or portrait shots, and they have someone with a boomstick out with a fill flash. I wanted to make one thing clear, is that you know, there's not an either or situation. My dedication to Nikon is 100%. I've got a crap load of Nikons and a crap load of Nikkor lenses and Nikkor f-mount lenses. One of the two reasons that I actually bought both the Fuji XT10 and the Fuji XT1 was I had used both, but you know, I don't know if I'm really getting older. I mean, I spent 25 years nearly with manual focus lenses. I'm very skilled at it and a lot faster than most people are. I wish I had the skills of a few people, but those are some guys in their 60s that have been shooting for 40 plus years. I mean, they're just damn fast. My rocker technique is fast, but I have a plethora of really good manual focus lenses. Right now I'm actually using Takina 100mm Metabones adapter on a Fuji XT10. Been shooting that in the Zeiss 50mm f1.4 today, but I got a lot of Voigtlander manual focus lenses and Zeiss lenses and older AIS lenses, including some non-AI Nikkor lenses, and I don't actually plan on buying more than 2 or 3 Fuji lenses. I'm not interested in buying their rather well-designed portrait, I think it's a 58mm f1.4. I mean, I've got tons and tons of superior, you know, I've got every 85mm ever made, including, you know, the better 85mm Zeiss planars. So, you know, the reason that I bought these bodies is to have a traditionalist experience with a well-built camera. Focus peaking is nice. I mean, it's actually fun to sit back and use these cameras. I mean, these are not in any way, shape, or form a replacement for my Nikon cameras, but they are really well made, and I have to actually stick up for what has to be in manufacturing a general truism, and that is that well-funded smaller companies that have more plasticity in response to customer desires, like Fuji, is a really good thing, and they do listen to their customers, whereas Nikon and Canon and other super large multinational conglomerates are just immovable beasts. They move very slowly like the government. It's just a gigantic lumbering beast. I mean, obviously it's a good thing to have endless funds and an entire floor of one of your many office towers that are dedicated just to lawyers, to patent and trademark crap. But Fuji does have very good funding, but they have the plasticity that they responded to what Nikon users asked for but didn't get, as is the case with the Nikon DF. It's a huge lumbering beast. I mean, it takes exquisite pictures. It has a D4 sensor in it. It is extremely well made, and it's made in Japan, but I have to state that I have a lot of manual focus lenses, and that I think that you don't have to be this either or fanboy. I mean, phony fanboys aren't the only fanboys out there. There's Canon fanboys and there's Nikon fanboys, and you know, all of that really, ultimately, of all the things in life to concern yourself with, is just nothing other than a giant pile of bullshit. I shoot what's good, what's best, what's an awesome value, and the Fuji XT10 and the XT1, although not as good a value, I mean, twice as much money, but I already mentioned that in the other video. That's the reason why I bought these. So. And I do have a lot of fun with the Fuji XT10. I mean, my favorite cameras are still D7100, D750, D810, and you know, the D700s and my D3s. I mean, those are all still my favorite cameras. I grew up with Nikon. They're not going anywhere. I mean, I know them like the back of my hand. I know them while I'm asleep. But I'm not going to be a tool, you know, that's strictly latched on to Nikon. I'm going to shoot what's good and best, and if that means using more than one camera that I have fun and pleasure using, especially you know, once I get older, if I get older, you know, if I don't die of a heart attack. I have a lot of fun with these Fujis, and the XT10 is an exquisite little beast, and the XT1 is incredible also. I'll be doing a video review tonight. I got the Fuji XT1 vertical grip in. I'll be showing you it, as well as what is the difference, if any, between the startup times, the boot times on the Fuji XT1 versus the XT10. But like I said, the reason I bought these is multitudinous. It's basically three premises. I love the plasticity of Fuji. Their firmware updates is exactly what the Fuji shooters have been asking for. They listen to their customers. Nikon, I love Nikon. My Nikon stuff ain't going nowhere. But they're a huge lumbering beast of a company, and any company gets that big, you know, they're just, anybody that's trying to reach out to them, they're out of touch. They really are out of touch. They make a lot of mistakes. Canon makes the same mistakes the same way any lumbering beast of a corporation makes mistakes. So one of the sweet spots that Fuji sits in is that they have the funds, and they have the fact that they're still small in the camera world, and they have the plasticity that they are listening to their customers, as proved by their firmware updates. And they do watch and listen to the Fuji forums. They listen very closely to what people hate or don't like or want to see, blah blah blah. So all of that combined with all my manual focus lenses is the reason why I'm using these. And the third point being is that they're exquisite little cameras. I actually have a lot of fun with them. Definitely the XT10 is the best value for the money, but I love the XT1. But as for value, is it as much of a value as the XT10? Well, I answered that in the other video. The answer is mostly no, but somewhat yes. I mean, we're still talking about a difference between like a Nikon D7100 versus a Nikon D750. They're both 24 megapixel sensors. One has a few more bells and whistles, actually quite a few. Not that much, but I mean, is it worth twice as much? Well, right now they're $500 versus say $1,600 for a gray market D750. But still a comparison, you know, it's analogous between the Fuji XT10 and the Fuji XT1. So anyway, I've been asked that question more than a few times, so I thought I'd answer it. Catch you later. Bye. I need to go out and shoot him here as soon as the sun comes out from behind the clouds.